Hello and welcome back. We've given this second coat of bonding primer and another night to dry out. So this has cured a lot more. It hasn't cured 100%, but it does dry to a hard film. So once you, and you can see how well that it covered too with the second coat versus the first coat. So now we're ready to prep. So I have my nail set and my little hammer here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just set in any nails that are protruding above the surface, and it's very hard to tell when it's stained. You won't really notice the holes, the imperfections until you get a few coats of paint on there. So I'm just going to use my nail set, and as you can see, I just put it there, and I just want to do a quick thing in there. Okay, we'll do another one. Okay, I'll come over here, and you just want to tap it. You just want to tap it so that it goes below the surface, so that when we go to fill that hole, we can fill it and it'll be smooth. Now, I know you can't see it, but when you tap into it, sometimes it'll like mushroom the surface around it. So what you do is just use your nail set and circumnavigate the hole by applying a little bit of pressure, and now the whole thing is a dimple and it's concave, and you can tell by running your finger along it. So there's another nail head that is just protruding above the surface there, so I'm going to put this there. Just do a quick swipe. There's one more here. Now that it mushroomed around the surface there, so I'm going to use my nail set and just go in a circular pat or a circular formation around it to put an impression on the edge of that. Okay, so, oh, and there's one that's down here too. So put the nail set there, and it mushroomed it, so I'm going to do that there. Okay, so I'm going to put these two tools down here, okay, and now we're going to fill the holes. Now you definitely want to fill the holes before you start to caulk, because if you try to caulk first and then fill the holes and you come across any nails that you have to set in, when you go to set it, it vibrates the wood and it creates a ripple in the caulk, and when it dries it won't be smooth and you'll have to re-caulk it. So always do your filling and nailing first and then your caulking last. So I have just regular all-purpose joint compound here. And again, this will shrink. And we're just going to use this with my 1-inch flexible blade here to fill some of these holes here. Now I put the mud in the middle so we don't make a mess here. So you just do that and go in with it. Okay? And then you can use your finger to wipe around it to get rid of any of that. So now when that dries, all you have to do is like wipe it. Just not, you don't have to sand your guts out there. You just do like a little wipe, and then that's your sanding, and you're not going to generate a lot of dust there. So I'll grab it like that, so that's in the middle there. Come up here, place this carefully. Just place this right there. Push in and swipe to the right. And you see how I got some mud right over there. So I'll use my finger there to clean that up there. That reloads it there. Take care of this one here. Now you can just use your finger too, but I always like the blade because the blade is a flat, smooth surface and it can conform to the shape of the trim and force the mud in there so it hits the back of the hole and then sprouts out. Now I'm not going to fill these because the curtain hangers are going to go back in there. And lastly, this one over here. Okay, that takes care of that one there. Now we're going to come down here. I'm just going to fill these ones right there. Now if you make a mess like I did right there, and there's joint compound over here and on the right hand side, just use your finger here and conform it. That cleans that off there, and just wipe it here and then set it below it. and that takes care of that there. So we'll reorganize that there, put it, or reorganize it again so it's in the middle. Come down here and fill that. Now there was an impression that was below it that this skimming helped out too. So this 1-inch flat flexible blade will also skim other imperfections that are in the wood too, because a lot of times a nail gun will leave an impression when it knocks the nail in there. So you'll have 2 impressions, and you want to use this size width there. So and then just go around and then just look to see if there's any other imperfections besides nail holes. There could be dents and stuff like that. So that's what you do there. So that's the first coat of this. So I'll put these 2 tools down, and now I'll pick up my caulk gun here. Now this is just a fast dry caulk. It says that it's paintable in 30 minutes. So for those of you that want to get a few coats of caulking done in one day, there's many products out there. So this is a white paintable caulk. You have to use a paintable caulk too. So that's very important, because if you go to paint on top of it, then it won't stick. So make sure that the caulk is paintable. This has silicone in it too. So what we're going to do is we're going to caulk this side right here. Now the trim is going to be white, so the caulk is white. So I have the top cut to like a 45-degree angle there. And it's very important to take a piece of sandpaper and sand away all the edges so it's like rounded or beveled or smooth. Because when you go to apply this to the trim that we just primed, you don't want the tip being too sharp, because when you drag it along the surface, it'll cut into the trim and tear off the primer, which you don't want. So I'm going to start off there, clean it off there. I'm just going to put this to the top here, and then I'm going to just push in a little bit, and I'm going to just go down with it. And I'm squeezing in, and I'm going at a certain speed that I know is going to leave that amount of caulk there. Okay? So now I kind of put too much at the top there. So what I'll do is start at the top, don't press in hard, go down with it. That gets all that there, and I'll clean that off there. Now come to the top again, go down with it. That's going to take that off there. Okay, now I'm just going to come here and just go down with it. Come to the bottom, I still have 1 inch left. I'm going to stop it. That's what's on my finger there. I'm going to come down here and come down into it there. Okay, and that's what comes off there. Now, just by stopping it 1 inch away, it's going to eliminate too much caulk forming on your finger, then making a mess all over the wood down here and all over the wall. So and then I'm going to come into it here and then go up a little bit, like that. Now here and down here, and that's what's on my finger there. And as you can see, the caulk is just a little bit on the wall there. I didn't smear it a lot. It's just barely on that surface, so we didn't make a mess. And again, the walls in here are, the sheen is like an eggshell. So if you do make a mess, it's always nice to have a wet sponge and a rag, or even just like your finger. So if you do make a mess, you can just wet the wall, again, because the wall is eggshell. If the walls are flat, then you don't want to use this. Okay, so I'll put that down here. We'll come to the other side and we'll caulk this side over here. So once again, I'll turn the tip onto a 45 and just put it up there. Okay? Now I'm just going to press a little bit, and I'm looking to see how wide the gap is, and that determines how fast and how hard that I squeeze. Now I got some on the wall there, and I'll just clean that off there. Come to the side of it. Okay, so it's all loaded up there. I'm going to bring it back up to the top here. And and I'm very happy with the amount there, so I'm not going to need to do that technique that I just did before. So I'm going to put the corner, see, you can see the part of my finger where it starts to touch, and I'm just going to come down with it. Come to the bottom, stop. I'm going to clean my hand off there, come into the corner, do a quick swipe like that, and then come up with it. Now I'm going to use my pinky, the side here, come into it and come down with it like that. Okay? And I'm going to use my pinky here. There's some that's right here, so that takes care of that right there. So our edges are all caulked now, and we didn't make a mess of it all over there. So now we want to fill the gaps that are in between the window and the trim now, because you have all these gaps here, so the entire perimeter of this and in the corners here. So what I'll do is I'll just put it up there. Turn the angle, because I'm going to go this way now with it. Stop it. I'll come up to the top here and put it in this inside here. Now this is a big gap here, so I'm going to go slow, and then this isn't so big, so I'm going to go fast. And now the top. Okay, so the entire perimeter is loaded up now. So I'm going to start with the inside here, put it in the corner, and come down with it. Stop, clean my finger, come down here, come in and throw it like that, and then come up there. Start over here in the corner again, swipe across. Now at that time, I just went all the way through and did that swipe, so I don't need to come into that. So we'll just start here, go up with it, I'll stop because I want the camera to see, and I'll have to move over to my right to actually see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put my finger there, and then come down there, and come down like that. Now you can always go back into your work so that you don't get a line right there. So I came off and I lifted off like right there. Okay, so that takes care of the perimeter. Now we have up here. I'll fill that. In the corners, you really want to just put a little bit because you don't want to get too much, because then it gets stuck. You definitely want to caulk like these right here. It doesn't look like it's that bad, but it'll start to form there. So let's put a little in there. Come into the corner. Clean that off. Okay, so like there's little areas like right there too, and over there. So again, you want to remember where you just caulked, because the caulk is going to shrink too. So we're just going to let this dry out, and then we'll be back to re-caulk it all and to refill the holes. So until the next time,